We are back at Shit Happens. So today I've been streaming on my phone because for some reason my Wi-Fi is acting up and all my technology is acting up. And if you're a podcaster, you know we always have technical difficulties. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's a thing, but then again, technology, right? It's always a thing. And my guest is already here. She's on the background. I'm about to bring her. But I'm so happy that she's able to make an appearance and shit happens. I love this incredible human being. We couldn't record last time for Talk Shit with P. But I'll still get her on Talk Shit with P because right now it's an I can never say this word. I hate us, whatever, man. It's on a break. It's been a long day. By the way, I just made you see that shelf? I was just building that shelf in between. If you watched my story, I share that. But for all those new people and shit happens is where we have a deep conversation on one question and we walk around that question. And every question is customized for the guest, depending on their brand, their personality, what they're doing, how they're doing it, or something like that. And we also give people their flowers because I'm all about shedding light on the incredible shit that people I'm surrounded with are doing. Even if I'm not surrounded with you and you're doing amazing shit, I want to share some light with you. And if shit happens, shit happens. So I'm going to bring my incredible guest on the stage right now. Shout out to Christy. Welcome to
Hey,
Shit
let's
Happens.
go. It's good to see you.
You too, baby. I missed you so much at Podfest.
I know. First of all, you're the mayor of Podfest, number one. Let's put that in print somewhere. I gotta live vicariously. Thank you for getting so much content because I gotta like experience it through your socials. But yes, I miss the crew. It's been a lot of years. I didn't get to see you guys this year.
Yes, it really like and it's funny because a lot of the OGs, not a lot, but some of the OGs were missing. Even though
Okay.
you know Podfest is always like you will feel the energy regardless, right? But we also felt the absence of those individuals who were like, oh my God, Lee's not here. Oh my God, Christian's not here. Oh my God. You know, because they bring something. So however huge it is and however incredible people are there, you still also feel that, and that's how much the community means, right? Like they've created a space where you are literally missable. And shout out to Adam Shively who called me the mayor of Podfest and we ran with it. I even told Chris next year they should make me a mayor of Podfest, no more ambassador of Podfest, like ambassador.
It's real. It's so real.
But one of the best things was because my plan was to bring out whoever sent me their match that I didn't buy, like the people who actually sent me their match. The plan was I'm gonna take their match with me to Podfest and rock them so that people can see them. So when I wore your jacket, shout out to the varsity jacket, which, which I kind of ruined, too much padding, but shout out to the first city jacket, which I took with me and I wore it to karaoke night. And oh my God, everybody was like, oh my God, Kristen, I know Kristen. And some people, because they saw the jacket, the next day they started calling me, Turmeric Tequila. I'm like, not my podcast, but that's my girl. So go check it out because people assume that was because everybody's always wearing their brands at podcasts, right?
Totally,
So
totally. I love it. I love it. You can be the mayor of Turmeric and Tequila as well. Open seat for you. No sweat.
I loved it when some of them, you know, Kristen, that's my girl, that's my girl. I was like, hell yeah, take a picture and let her know we are rocking her shit. We are representing her even though she's not here. So you were represented, okay?
Hey, that makes my heart so full. I know I love seeing the world emerge and like different people come together. Like that was so awesome. That made, I so I and you're such a good human. I so appreciate you repping the cause when I wasn't there. But I'm just proud to have someone like you rocking the brand. So it's all good from this end. That's an honor for me.
Hell yeah, you know, anybody who takes the time to send you their merch, right? It's different when somebody buys it because they spend their money, they really like it. But if somebody sends you their merch and you see them wearing it without you asking, or you like, it's just a different kind of love, right? And
It
I've been
totally
in
is.
love with your merch. I've been in love with your brand. I've been in love with you So it was an honor for you to be like, I sent you one, and I was like, oh my god, for real, like for real, for real, for real.
For
And
real, for
it
real.
has been my go-to jacket ever since. But what the thing that sucked was I actually brought you my match because I was like, what? I rebranded and I rebranded my match, and I was like, one of the first people I'm gonna hand over the match to was you. So I brought a few match to give to people at Podfest and
Oh,
also create
shoot.
content while they were doing it. So I was like, I didn't know you were not coming until at karaoke when I was rocking your jacket, and then she was like, you know, Kristen, that's my girl. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to see her. She was like, you know, she's not coming. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Am
Oh
I
man.
drunk? Am I not hearing this right? Did I have too many drinks?
You know, I would have been on stage.
Exactly. But you know, because it was Thursday, and some people like it was on Wednesday night because some people come on Thursday. I mean, on Thursday, some people come on Friday. So I was like, maybe because you got a lot going on. You were literally at Disney running,
The
and you
week
got
before.
yeah. So I was
Yeah.
like, maybe she's just coming in late, you know, or maybe I haven't seen her because podcast is a lot of people. You might end up missing people because it is a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, unfortunately, I was out there the week before running the dopey challenge, and the turnaround was too fast. And like, that was such a huge chunk of time. And it was literally like coast to coast in 2 weeks. I'm like, I can't swing both. So that sucked. But I'm hoping to make it next year at least.
Hell yeah, definitely. I hope you do. But
Yeah.
I ended up leaving your because I hate going to the post office because I actually had your match since last year December. Then I was
Nice.
like, you know what? Because I don't drive and I live far from the post office. So I was like, you know what? Since I'm gonna see her in January, that's what my head was like. I'll just give it to her there. I feel like it will be much better. And then when I found out you're not there, and I already had too much shit to come back with. Shout out to the Expo all and all the sponsors who gave me free shit.
Cool.
So I left it with my friend who is very good at going to the post office because she always sends me packages to the extent that I feel so bad. Sometimes I'm like, I have your shit, I just can't go to the mailbox, so I normally send it in December with. But she has it. She just had a surgery, and she'll be mailing it to you before end of this month. You will be getting it, so I
It's all
can't
good.
wait for you to get it.
I don't.
But
Whenever it comes, we'll rock it. You know this.
oh, I have no worries. And but even with people like you know, I have specific people they are constantly rocking their merch. Even when I give them my merch, I don't get like if they don't rock it because you are always on your brand, and
Yeah.
that's something. It's not like an excuse or anything. That from when I met you, you're always on your brand. So that's
Yeah.
something to really respect and take in. But I
Thank
ended up my jacket like now I have like things came out and I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what Moped Boys made me do because I ended up tearing the jacket and stuff. But
Oh no! All right, we need to get you another one. Let me know. No, the first iteration, like their patches are ironed on, so we got to sew them next go round. So they're not super durable right now, but we'll get you a new more
oh,
trail ready version.
but the good thing is they did not get lost. Like literally, I have the entire back. I have, so I'm about to put them in my wall so that I can like,
That's
because
hilarious. Oh my! How did you tear it? The jacket itself. I mean, it's like thick denim. You must have been tearing it up.
do you
Literally.
want to see how it looks like?
Yeah, let's see. Let's see what's up. I'm dead.
I was like, what did I do? Like,
Especially the first night. You have like 3 or 4 nights after that where you got to maintain.
bruh, like, as I said, you hang out with the Moped boys, shit happens. So you see, I
Oh
have
no, the big one came off. Oh, the little ones, yeah, they were coming off. Oh, I can't see it. Oh my god, yeah. What were you guys doing? That's remarkable. That looks like, were you getting like drug on the floor? Oh my gosh.
it's like there are holes everywhere. I'm like, what the fuck was I up to? I do not know. I do not know. I cannot explain it.
Oh
I
my
just know
god.
that.
Okay, we'll get
Gonna,
you. You need
but
us
I
to
don't.
if you were closer, I'd come get it and you have to sew the patches back on. That's not a big deal. But the holes, dude, I don't know if we can do anything about the holes. Maybe just let it be character. I don't. Oh
It,
my God, how did this happen?
I'm a leave it as character when it's not so cold, but like windy, like it can still walk, like and I'm a definitely find a way to, but like it
We'll get
now has
you.
it now
We'll get
has
you.
more character. Like I gave it more character.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like the holes, but the next iteration we'll send you some to test. So if it survives you, I know it will survive any future customer. So you'll be like our research and design, like product development team.
But that's the thing that only happened at Potfest, so I don't know, like because I was rocking it fine when I was in Atlanta, so and only until I hanged out with the Moped boys, so I don't know what Joy and Mike got me doing, but
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's another level. I really do I like the worn look. We got to fix the patches. If you know anyone that sews, have them sewed on, but if not, I'll hook you up with a new one. If I was close, I'd literally come pick it up and sew it for you, but the holes I kind of dig.
I know, right? It
Yeah.
brought a character, cause I mean they're all these shredded jackets, so it does still work. I still love it. But I was just shocked at what the fuck,
Yeah,
like.
I don't even know like dancing or like I feel like you got drugged by like a four-wheeler of something.
But so my roommate told me that but this was on. Yeah, my roommate was like, "You texted us to come get you, and you almost fell out of the car, or did I fall out of?" So I don't know. Like I was just like, I don't want to hear it. Today's
Yeah,
another day. Let's keep it
that's
moving. We survived. I'm alive.
exactly.
I'm
It's
alive.
more turmeric than less tequila maybe on day 2.
But again, you see, you have tequila in there, so I think whether I drank tequila or not, the tequila just came in me.
It's real. It's a slippery slope, but you know what? You're here. Like you said, forward.
All right. So, how have you been, by the way?
I've been good. As we were kind of talking about, we ran a marathon. It was actually a marathon plus. It was like 48.6 miles in 4 days. So that was a cool kind of out of the box challenge. We're pushing the podcast hard. We just broke the top 200 in mental health. So that's awesome. We're just like you, we're out here just doing as much as we can as fast as we can, but also like be in the flow of things so we don't get too caught up in like the everyday hustle. But it's been good. We got big plans for 2024, as I'm sure I want to hear on your side of things. I mean, this is why you're the mayor of Podfest, but you're on the socials, you're doing the merch, like you've got it all going on as well.
Well, first, shout out to you for 200 episodes and every amazing thing you're doing. Like, you literally inspire me,
Hey,
and because of you, I keep pushing, especially when it comes to my brand awareness. Like, I watch and I share and I just take it in and I learn. So thank you. And and again, it all comes out to surrounding yourself with people you want to be like or learn from, and I see you all doing it, and it's not even about, because I know people use finances as an excuse, because I can also do that. I live paycheck to paycheck and shit. But if you really want to make it happen, you gotta just be disciplined and figure it out. And you know,
yeah,
this 1 month you don't have to go out, or you don't have to Uber Eats, and put it in ordering your merch or paying for that uh, ads or whatever it is. So I love that I'm around people like you, and who show me, who are willing to help me, who are willing to share, who are willing to, and just by observing. So, like I say, just like you, 2024, I'm about to break it into the game, and the way January started, like when I was a Podfest, and I think that's why I also like being a Podfest, being around creators, right? And everybody sharing and preaching and people seeing you, because a lot of people who saw me last year and who saw me this year, they kept on telling me about my growth and how much they're watching and seeing. So that assurance, when you come back, you're like, yo, people are really watching. I gotta go harder and harder. People are seeing, people are noticing. So I think that's a blood rush. And since actually you just turned, it was in December, right? 200 episodes, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, we hit it. Shoot, I can't even remember. Right before, no, right in October because it was right around my birthday. So right at the
Right.
end of October, we hit 200, and I'll have 205 coming out tomorrow.
Gotcha. Yes. So I want to talk to you about consistency, only because so with shit happens, right? Shit happens is a new thing under the talk shit with P umbrella. So I'm trying to make it like a 30 to 45 minutes where we pick something and talk around it depending on the person who comes, and it's not an interview of constantly questions and asking. And the reason why I picked consistency with you is because 200 205 episodes in, and you do a lot of other shit. If anybody's on your social, follows you, watches you, will say, I feel like maybe God gives you extra hours on the day than anybody, because the way you be moving is like, damn. And that's what you lucky, like my accountability buddy, because I'm like, if she can put in all that, who am I to be crying about this? And I just have to. You are creative. You have a company, Core Alliance. You are big in the health and wellness. Like, you're a competitor. You just say you came back from running. You're brand awareness. You're a mental health advocate. You are a podcaster. And still with all that going on, again, you're also a sister, a friend, and all that, a daughter, and all that. And you still gotta live life, but you still stay consistent with your podcast, with everything that you put your mind to. So I feel like we need to dig into that. How the fuck do you stay consistent?
Well, thank you for all of that. That really means a lot, especially coming from someone like you, because I feel like you're the same way. Like, we're in it, we're on it, we're doing all the things. Truthfully, the short answer is like, I don't. Like, I know it looks a certain way, but part of like the funny piece of how turmeric and tequila came together, and I've really had to work with like the language and the explanation of it, because it's like, an anti-inflammatory and inflammatory, like two opposing things can exist in harmony. That's it. And it's just like about balance. And that's funny because I was like, I'm not good at balance. I go all in on fitness and all in on business. And then like I'm burned out because it's too much. But I don't think that ever really changes. I've learned that about myself. We're just getting a little bit better at balancing it ish. So, you get better, like you were saying, you kind of just stay consistent in your discipline, and then sacrifice where you have to for other things, and you just kind of figure out your priorities. And a lot of it's like cost benefit analysis. Like, if I'm going to do this and I know I can't do this, or really a better analogy is opportunity cost. Like, if you're spending time and energy on one thing, you're not going to be able to do something else. So getting really clear on what you're investing in is a big piece of it, especially as I get older, with personal life, relationships, free time with my dogs, all that stuff outside of work things that I truly love. It's a constant balance, but the biggest secret to me is just finding out what really does bring you joy, and you like can have fun doing it, even if it's work or whatever, and then prioritize that, then fit everything else around those things. Because I think if you're having fun and you're enjoying it, all the other stuff doesn't seem as overwhelming as a process, not such a dredge and like hard work in the process. Like, you can work hard, but it's not like, oh, it's got to do this. Like, you have to dredge through the situation. So really try and maintain the fun in all of it wherever you can. I think that, like, on the busy, long, hard days, that's what pulls you through.
I agree, and it's funny you said fun, right? Because shout out to Justin. I can never pronounce his last name. Shank, Justin. Justin Shank. Growth movement, and he says this thing, right? He's like, as soon as it stops being fun, I stop doing it, which is so true. Because I feel like and it all I I love content creating, right? But and the more I enjoy it is because also I know my purpose around it, right? So I feel like even when I get depressed and stuff, and then I start watching a show and it gives me an idea of content, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get up. Like, I literally be in bed in my darkness and watching and trying to distract myself to get out of, and something shows up, and the next thing is I'm jumping out of my bed, going into my closet, trying to find an outfit to go out and create content. And
yes.
And because the content creating part of it, it's fun for me. The posting part of it, it's really annoying. I need a social media person. But you're so right. Once you make it fun, whatever you're doing, whether if it's fun, that's why I feel like that also helps with your mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And parts of it aren't always going to be fun. Like running the marathon, I don't like necessarily like the training, but it's really awesome when it's completed. So there's pieces of things that are hard, and that's always part of it. But I do think if you can have the mindset, because I'm like you, like I like pieces of the puzzle. I don't love doing all of it. Like I don't love the back end of editing and all this. Like I like the interview and the humans and the community, and like the other stuff isn't my flow. So at some point the goal is to get to where you can outsource those things. So I always say like the part that isn't fun, just keep working to get to where you can do the fun part and then outsource the things that don't serve you. So that's where I'm working towards right now, is eliminating that piece that isn't my vibe.
That's so true. And that's why I started doing broadcasting, because I love connecting to people. I love talking to people. I love hearing their stories and hoping that they reach somebody out there who inspires them. And I keep that consistency. But when I am going through that, okay, now the season is up and I have to post every week, that starts draining me
Yeah.
and annoying me. And then, so I'm like, okay, let's do a live where once it's out there, it's out there. I don't have to do the mini little parts that I would normally do when I pre-record. So if you can't outsource, figure it out. Go
Find a way.
find ways around it, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's great because like not a lot of people do go live. So I think that's another competitive advantage. And I completely agree with you. Find a way that really does serve what you're doing. And also if you aren't enjoying something or you feel like your consistency's off, like even the past 3 weeks, 2 weeks, I have not released a podcast. I think in 2.5 weeks, and I've just been busy and a lot of stuff, kicking off, which is good, but I wasn't consistent. So I think it's important too to give yourself some grace. Like if you slip off a little bit, that's okay. Like nothing's, gonna end. It's not, we're not surgeons saving people's lives on, the doctor's table. Like it's okay if you're feeling like you need to take a break or it's an off day, like give yourself some grace in that and then get back on it. And then again, it's and then the process not so rigid, but also lean into it. If you don't like something, listen to that. And like what you did, find a way to maneuver around it in a different fashion.
It's funny you said you haven't released an episode for 2 weeks, because um, the Friday I was at Podfest and last Friday, my newsletter used to go out on Thursdays because of my episode will come out on Wednesday. But when I took a hiatus, I was like, let me do it on Friday. That way it goes towards the weekend. So I switched that. But then for the past 2 weeks, I didn't release a newsletter. And and because Podfest. Like, to be honest, I was wearing so many hats at Podfest.
Yeah.
I was going to bed at 3, 4 a.m. and having to be up by 7 to start volunteering. So the thought about finding a place to, and I'm a person who, with my newsletter, I don't schedule. Even my post, I don't schedule. Because in the moment, whether I'm feeling there to go, because sometimes I schedule and I'm like, but that's not the post I want to go out, or I
Right.
need to add new stuff, or it doesn't look. So I do it. I wake up at 4, 5 a.m. to write the newsletter and send it out. But I wasn't gonna do that at Podfest, and last week I was moving. I wasn't. So I literally sent a message to my broadcasting people on Instagram. And I was like, I know I haven't sent a newsletter in 2 weeks, but it's okay. Nobody's dying from the news that I have to give. Like, it's my personal news to share.
There you
It's
go.
okay. As long as I remember, because it's so easy to let go and slack, right?
Right.
Because
Right.
it ends up 2 weeks. Oh, if I miss 2 weeks, I can miss one more week. Oh, I can miss one more week. Oh, then it's a month, then 2 months. So as long as you remember to get back in it before it drifts away, that's perfectly fine. Grace is very important in giving yourself grace in this race of consistency is very important, because shit's gonna happen, right? Shit happens.
I, exactly. And people understand, like they're in it too. Like you said, you can go out, take a water break, take a minute, and then get back in it when you're ready. You just don't take too much time off. But people understand the human condition's real. We're all kind of in it and living it. And so, if you're consistently doing the best you can and things slide off and you get back on, that's okay. That's everybody.
And if people don't understand, or they're not human enough to get it, then they're not your people. Because I feel
Exactly.
like, you know everybody understands, because they also have shit in their world going on. They probably didn't even notice because of what also they're going through. No offense, like, yes, I want everybody to notice when my newsletter is not out,
Right.
but they might be dealing with shit that it didn't even link to them. That is Friday. Especially emails, like, people get so many emails that day. Probably they got 1,000 and your email got pushed down that they didn't even notice it. So be kind to yourself.
It's real. Yeah. And then if you know you have that space, it doesn't feel rigid, you're likely to be more consistent knowing that.
Now, out of curiosity, right? How do you balance? Because as you say, balance is important for you to find and to stay consistent. And we already notice how much shit you do. Like, God damn it, girl. Ha. If you all watch her stories and the shit she does in the gym, like people call me because I'm small. People think I am strong, but then when I watch
Wow,
her
you are
stories,
smart.
when I watch her stories, I'm like, let me pick something up, cause.
Well,
So how do you manage your balance to balance shit out?
yeah. Well, my big thing, so I'm a longtime athlete, and then was a D1 athlete and then competed in CrossFit after college. So like that's always been a consistent in my life, not so much for physical health, but mental health. Like that's my release, that's my happy place, that's a lot of my community because I'm an entrepreneur, so I work a lot alone. So that portion for the gym right now in CrossFit is a huge piece of my world. So I go every morning to the 9:30 class so I can avoid traffic. And this year I'm actually working to wake up earlier to get a little bit more work done before that class because then I don't get home at 11, and so it's a good chunk of the day. However, and I'll end up working later. It's really important to me, so I literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday 9:30 to like 11 is CrossFit time, and I work everything around that. And I get some content out of it and some business stuff, but really that's like my happy place, my people. It's where I go, so everything kind of works around that. I schedule my podcast in the afternoon around that. So I think if you have one thing in your world that's your priority that you want to work around, that like it's one thing you can't do without, work stuff around that. And so if it's a standing place on your schedule, you can maneuver a lot of things around that one priority. And it might be you're bringing your kids to school or picking them up, or doing a meditation for an hour in the morning. Whatever your thing is, I try and pick like one thing and then work everything around that one thing.
And that's so true. I feel like once you find one of your happy places, again, be it waking up a little bit earlier than your kids and having coffee in silence, or meditating or journaling, finding that time. I feel like once you have your happy place and you start with that in the morning, it sets your entire day right. Or am I wrong? Because I feel like that's what works for me. Like, and anytime I end up missing that happy thing of mine to do, which I normally do in the morning, it kind of ends up messing my whole day, and it just kills it.
Absolutely. And yet it doesn't need to be an overcomplicated thing because then you wake up thinking I got to do all this stuff. Like flow into it, enjoy it, and know that everything else will get done. And if it doesn't, again, you can't like make it this really hard course of process. You got to do the best you can and stay disciplined in your time management and whatever. But also, days of our lives are moving fast. I think it's really important to slow down and embrace and enjoy some things versus get everything done. And that took me a long time to get to that space. And I'm still working to get there. But, when we wake up, on a Sunday and the whole week's flown by and it's like, shit, what did I do where I was like fully present this week or I really enjoyed? And it's like, if you're just constantly running from one thing to the next, that's not really the point. So you got to find that balance of getting stuff done and whatever, but also again, just having that grace where like, let it go. I gotta be able to pause at points in life and find that joy. Otherwise I'm not doing any of this right.
So true. There's that saying where don't forget to stop and smell the roses or something?
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Those
Because
roses.
especially when it becomes a repetition, right? Next thing you know, February is over. When you look back, you're like, what did I actually do? Yes, you have produced your podcast, you have done this, but what have you actually done for you? And I always tell people, sometimes, because I used to be this person who thought I needed to be busy, right?
Yeah.
Because being busy means I'm doing something, right? That's what my
Totally.
mindset at that point was. But then I came to realize, okay, I'm busy, but what exactly am I doing? Like, so for me, I switched my mindset from I rather not be busy, but be productive, right? So
Yes.
even if in that day I was just able to accomplish one thing, that's fine because you can be so busy, and when you look, you haven't done shit. You have just been busy running around, like
100%. And that's a
literally.
waste of energy. Like that burns you
Yes.
out too. And you're not even, like you said, you're not being productive. But sometimes in our mind, if you get one productive hour and you have time off, you think like, I didn't do that much versus like 5 hours of just effing around. You're like, but I worked for 5 hours. It's like, well, not really. But the narrative we kind of grow up with is like, just do more to stay busy. And it's like, you're doing a lot. And it's like, you're not actually.
Yep, so true. I love that. So, out of curiosity, right, in your life right now, what's the hardest shit that you're having with staying consistent with?
God, the hardest thing, well, it's funny because the marathon was so CrossFitter, not a runner. That's why I chose to do this run. That was really hard because I wanted to do a marathon once in my life, but I wanted to do an extra hard one just to check the box, blah, blah, blah. So after the podcast coming out tomorrow is about that experience into training and whatever. And none of my lessons were really about the physical. It was really great because it makes you consistent. Like you have to do the training. Otherwise you won't complete the race. Like you've got to show up and do the training. So the consistency is there's no gray area there. Like grace or not, like you got to do it or you're going to die on that day, which I was fine in that. But the lessons I got out of taking that chunk of time and being with yourself, you really got to see, okay, what do I really want to be doing? You know, I just turned 43 this past October and I'm getting to a point, I'm like, really, I really want to get clear on what do we want to do? Like, what do we want to do? This podcast? What do I want to do with like my personal life, with my dogs, with my financial stuff? Like, what are the end games? So my big focus now for 2024 has been getting deeply, deeply clear on what I want and then consistently go after and pursue those. I hate to say goals, but they really were goals. I'm not a New Year's resolution type person, but I've got, X amount of downloads I want to hit with Turmeric Tequila and bring on sponsors. I want to make more time for
Let's call them milestones instead of goals. Milestones. How about that?
Milestone. Yeah. Milestone. We'll go with that. So we've got milestones set in place and, it's just getting clear on what you want. So to me, it kind of sounds like a simple thing. Like, I think if you would have told me 10 years ago, like, at 43, you're going to be figuring out, you're going to working on clarity. I'd be like, what the, like at 40, I don't have it figured out. Like what? But life changes so much, every decade, every year, really. And the world around us changes. So I think consistently figuring out and seeking clarity is more important than like
Hello?
consistency in business. So if you're working towards your
Am
authentic
I
desire.
here? Did we lose turmeric and tequila?
Oh, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Are you
There you
back?
are. Yes, you're back.
Okay, I didn't lose you.
Yeah, yours went round like you froze and then it refreshed you.
Okay, shoot. I don't know where you lost me, but I was saying I think the consistency piece is important in knowing your goals, desires, milestones, even more than just like your consistency in your day, like your morning routine, your training, what have you. I would say hardest part for me and what I would suggest is get consistently clear on what you want and what you're working towards.
And it's funny you say that because I believe, when we were growing up, we thought that in our 20s, we should at least have an idea. That's why I think most of my friends started getting married in their 20s because that was what we grew up. Like you go to school, you graduate, you come home, you get married, you start a family, you do that job you got, and life goes on. And then when I got into my 30s, that's when I really started doing work on myself and
Mhm.
and and getting more clear. Like, no, I want more for my life. I want this. Like the clearance started coming to me because I started doing work on me. And then when I hear now, when I walk around and I hear these 20-year-old kids who are such in a rush to grow up, I'm like, yo, enjoy this moment, live in this moment, because you think you got to figure it out. There's going to be a new version of you in your 30s, a new version of you in your 50s. Like it's going to shift because
Yeah.
the more we keep going, the more we grow. We grow and we unlearn. We are constantly unlearning the shit that we were put in our minds. Because in the beginning, when we come to life, our parents are the ones who are telling us shit. And then you come to realize that even our parents didn't know shit because
100%.
they're even learning shit right now. They're like, oh, damn. I'm like, now me and my dad are learning a different kind of life. And he's like, well, that's what I knew back then. And it's true. Everybody thought they knew what they knew until they realized they don't know shit.
100%. And the variable is that like culturally, generationally, the world around us, nurture, nature, everything's changing at a rapid pace. And I always laugh when kids are like, I know what I'm going to do. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Like what you're actually passionate about might not even exist yet. Like when we were young, podcasting wasn't even invented yet. It wasn't even a thing. So it's like stuff's moving. What you're going to do might not even be a thing yet. So you got to just chill. And like you said, just absorb the phases.
and accept them. And I think most of us sometimes feel like it's a failure when we have to let go the life we thought we knew or wanted and come into a different life or choose a different lifestyle. But that's not a failure. That's actually growth.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and something I've really, and like you have done a lot of personal work and been around really great leaders and intuitives and coaches and all the things. I think that one of the bigger takeaways that I would say, especially to young people, is knowing that as great or as great of a plan as you think you had or as beautiful as you thought it could be, just open up your mind. Not to that it might not work out the way you want, but it could be better. Like the plan that's out there, God, universe, Madonna, whatever you believe in, it might actually be better than what you planned. So even if you're disagreeing, you don't like it, just be slightly open-minded to the idea that whatever larger order could be better than what you had in mind.
So true. And I feel like sometimes that's when we miss our blessings, you know, because
Absolutely.
we tend to stick to what we know and don't want to allow all these other beautiful things to come into our life and show us like, oh my God, yes, that is good. That's cute, you know. I like that you want that for yourself, but you know that it can even be bigger and better for you. So I love that. Now, before we end this, I wanna talk a little bit about something with you, which is branding. Because to me, you are the queen of branding. Like, I mean, look, like right there. So, for people, right? You know, because branding takes a lot of time, energy, also money, because you
Mhm.
can't just create it. So, for those people who are really thinking about branding themselves, because oh my God, I've never seen. I feel like you and essay are the people who I know who are constantly on their brand, like, and you have so much shit because I've watched your stories, I've seen, like, you go hard on your branding. So, what's the a way for people who either live paycheck to paycheck or they're not very high on the finances to get into branding their shit and staying consistent with their branding?
Yes. My number one piece of advice is be your number one ambassador. So before the physical, before the money investment, for anything, get your mindset right in your heart space that you believe in this, you bleed it, and it's authentically you. If any of those things are not true, the brand's not going to work. It's not going to stem. So it's got to be who you authentically are, something you authentically bleed. Everything else from there will happen. And especially right now, our young people will see through any sort of bullshit. Back in the day, there's all kinds of companies that can come up with cool slogans and kitschy details and like, tons of dollars to market it and just wear us down until we're fans. That's not the case anymore. Instagram, social media, people are watching TV less. Everything's really IRL in real life. Like everything's got to be authentic, which is a burned out word, but as is influencer. But I always say you got to be your number one brand ambassador, be the one that bleeds it. So that's why I'm always in a shirt. I'm always rocking it because Turmeric and Tequila, especially like you and I as podcasters, like this is us. We're not hiding behind a
Mm-hmm.
product. We're not, selling something, a service or whatever. Like we are the brand. So it's even more important for us to be authentic in it and let it be real, let it be flawed, let it be all the things. Financially, I think the first step you can take that's really easy and cheap is, get your logo done. And even that I wouldn't overthink because lots of big companies redo them down the road and there's different iterations, but get something done and then get stickers. That's the easiest, quickest thing you can do. You can put on a water bottle, a computer, whatever. And make sure you're taking advantage of the social. So all things social media, that's all free. Just get on there. And if you can afford one shirt, you can go on Printful or any of those situations and order one shirt. So if you have one shirt that's branded, wear it every time you're on your socials, wear it out, like do whatever you can. The bottom can be, really, really simple and you don't need to invest in all this stuff. My next steps from there, outside of stickers and like one shirt and just using all the social media channels, would be to buy a print press. And I did this. You can buy a print press off Amazon. I think mine was like $150. And then you can source the vinyl. So I took my one logo and I can buy this in black and white. I kept my stuff simple and it'll come to you in sheets. So I actually had a printer at one time that printed the vinyl and it was just too complicated and it was just a pain in the ass. You have to do the artwork. To me, it was worth it to buy. I think I can get 10 large, and these are large logos. So you can do them smaller. You can put probably hundreds on one sheet. But overall, I spend about $200 on logos. So then whenever I get stuff that I want to wear, a cropped pink shirt or whatever, maybe that not a lot of people would want to wear, I can print it. Because when you go to print stuff and orders of things, usually it's more, the less you order at one time, the more expensive each piece is. So most times you'll order like 10 to 25 shirts of the same thing, and you got to commit to that inventory and then sell it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want to do that. And I knew I wanted to be in this all the time. So, and I was going to be printing random stuff a lot of people wouldn't want to wear. So then I can go to like Forever 21 and buy like discounted items and then print them myself. So I think people far overlook how important it is to rock it on your shirt, because people are reading shirts all the time. Like you are your own walking billboard. So if you're in it and you're walking it and you can pick pieces that are different that you like, that you can print yourself. I mean, I loved it. And this is why I really want to go into apparel, because this is like a thing for me. But find a way to just, yeah, there you go. Get your stuff, print it, and you can do your own thing. And now there's stuff like Printful where you can go on and you can order all kinds of stuff, pretty cost and time effective. Like I've got blankets and pillows where you don't have to order 100 pillows back in the day. Stanley cups, like, dude, that's varsity. That's awesome. See, I mean, you already know the game. Like that's what it is. And when you're excited about it and you want to rock it, people want to rock. They want to be part of your community. So like the energy and the mindset's way more important than any of the print materials.
And sometimes they just create content around there and share it. Like it's funny because for people are sleeping on Sticker Mule. Sticker Mule has some incredible order. Like I'm not a person who signs up for people's text messaging chains. But for Sticker Mule, I signed up because they have orders where like they discount them so that you can get a sample and see how it feels. That way you can order more. I've never ordered unless it was a deal. I order mine every time there's a deal. I'm like, I don't know when I'm gonna use this, but right now it's in a price that I can afford it. I'ma buy it. Like legit. Let me show you something. And this is, people think I'm crazy because sometimes, again, especially for those of us who paycheck to paycheck, you never know when you're gonna have money. So when you have it, you invest. You see, this is Sticker Mule.
Okay.
I ordered these bags. I wasn't sure what I'm gonna use them, the mailing. I was like, but they will come in handy one day. And they did at Podfest. When I was putting people's stuff to give out, to give them and create content, I put them in here. So from the package when they got it, it had TalkShitWithP. To when they opened it, it had TalkShitWithP. I have these ones, these little pouches, the stand-up pouches. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do in that, but the price was right. I ordered them. I'm like, they will eventually, when I have something, and I might not have the money, but I will have them. Now, this was the winner at Podfest this year, right? So I wasn't sure what I was gonna take with me because it was last minute. My budget wasn't there, and then I went on Amazon because they do quicker compared to ordering it at shop. So I was like, let me see what they can have in a price I can afford to get me to. And there were the wine openers, right?
Oh, okay. Yes.
It has TalkShitWithP as the logo, and it's a kitchen. And these were $40. You get 100 of them. You can get them in different colors or purple. My brand color is purple. Of course, I got them in. And then I added $5 to get this. So I was putting them in this, and I gave them out to the ambassador. On the first night on Wednesday night, we had the ambassadors meetup, and they were the first people to get them. So the next day, Jen comes to me and she's like, oh my God, guess what? I was like, what? She's like, you can't believe Katie was looking for me yesterday, wondering if I had your opener because they really needed an opener. She had left hers at how at Podfest it can be literally you're talking, because I put them on the table, so she was talking to people and then she got called out. She forgot to pick it up and she walked away. So then at night, the father wanted a beer and nobody had an opener. And she was like, oh my God. So she texted Jen, do you have Paula's opener by any chance? And Jen had it. She used it to bargain because when Katie went to her door, she was like, I'm not gonna give it to you until you remember that bonus I was talking about. How badly do you want the opener? So she, but then it also became into a story. And even when Mopad had their booth, they had like a beach theme, like they had beach chairs. They bought a furry rug like sand, and they had beers, but they forgot they didn't have an opener. So I gave them, because this came when I got this. They only brought like 50 of the bags, so I had 50 which didn't have bags. So I took a few of them and I put them at their booth. And I was like, whoever gets a beer, give them my kitchen as well. So that's also.
I love it. That's perfect.
And all it took was $50. So I know sometimes it seems like it's a lot, and it's a thing that somebody's gonna put it on their kitchen, because anybody who, like, if you like to drink beer or anything, you're gonna want an opener with you all the time. So it's
100.
there. And I always make stickers. These were big and different, but whenever Sticker Mule has, I order stickers. I order kitchen. I have other kitchens. I order stuff. And whenever I'm in Atlanta and I go to events and I just talk to people, because people forget the name of your podcast, because especially if they're talking to a lot of people and you're drinking, they'll wake up the next day, they'll be like, oh my God, was it talking shit or talk shit? So I always end up giving them a sticker or a kitchen or something. I just give them out in anywhere I go. I'm like, that way they will wake up, they'll look at that stick and they'll be like, wait, what is this? Let's go Google it. Let's go check it. So
I love it. And it can be that simple. And we're in such a great day and age where you can get it affordably. Like back in the day, there were so many gatekeepers to a lot of
yes,
things. Now you can get creative and make a lot work with even 10, $15.
exactly. Don't sleep on Amazon. I literally go to Amazon and I write personalized match, and it just
Yep.
gives me all these different things for affordable prices. So even if you feel like you can't order them elsewhere, check them on Amazon. And do that. And because of you and Esther, I also started rocking my own brand. When I went to Afros and Audios, I had my shoes with my logo, my bag with my logo, my jacket. And everybody's like, we need to give Paula an award for brand awareness, because look at her.
Yes.
Even at Podfest, my shoes, those Nikes, everybody's like, I have socks. I went on the stage when I was presenting, I had my socks of Talk Shit with P with my face and shit, and my Nikes. And everybody was like, wait, what? Even socks? I'm like, yes, even socks.
That's what's up. Yeah. But dude, people, it's hard to stand out in a crowd of like voices, extroverts, whatever. But like if you are branded out and like again, you got the energy because you are that fucking excited about it. Like it's real. So it's like, I mean, it's all the shine behind the logo that really makes it run. But if you do it, you're walking in it and you bleed it, people love it. I don't think you can have too much. I really don't.
No, I literally and I'm gonna post this later on, but I literally made, because Joe, Mike, and Chase, the Moped boys, right? Mike's birthday is in February, but he's all the way in Tokyo. And Joe and Chase, their birthday was in January, so I made them one of a kind, because they love drinking whiskey. They're always drinking whiskey. So I made them their whiskey glasses with my logo, and then at the back it said "Happy Birthday" with their name and the year. So now and when I saw those glasses, I was like, man, I also want, like, I'm gonna make all my glasses with my logo. But it also gave me an idea that, okay, now for everybody who I really fucks with, who really pours into me, like it's not gonna be for everybody's birthday, but those specific individuals
Yeah.
this year who will I will be making those and shipping them for them, because they were affordable and they're so good. And the fact that they have that message, like my texted me 2 days ago and was like, yo, I'm never drinking whiskey in anything else anymore. Like, this is my favorite new. And just to hear that,
Yeah.
like, and he will be sipping it with people, and people will be like, what's Talk Shit with P?
I love it. Yeah. Well, and it's cool too because if you've ever created or done branding or bought stuff, you know how much it is, especially on a budget. And it's not even just the money; it's the time and energy and packing it yourself. Like you do all of it. So when someone's had some piece of that and they understand like the process you went through to do that, it's like, damn, I really appreciate you. Like I really appreciate that human exchange.
So true. All right, we are almost coming to an end, but before we go, all right, you do amazing shit. So this is the time where I let you brag about yourself. By the way, I did not want to talk so much about your experience with Disney, because I know your episode comes tomorrow and you have shared that. So I want people
You're
to
good.
actually go listen to your episode and get it, so you can get those downloads. Because if we're giving it out for here for free, like what's the point, right? But I do want people to know, how many miles did you run?
We completed 48.6 miles in 4 days. So it was a 5K day one, a 10K day two, a half marathon day three, and then a full marathon day four. So it was a whole vibe.
You are never gonna make it to Podfest with that. Like, by the time you get out of there, like, you just need to calm, to rest. You need to rest. The body even is telling you. because Podfest as well is a lot going on. You need your energy as well up there, and you're like, it's a lot. But
It's yeah,
I am so
it's
proud of
real.
you. That's fucking incredible. I was watching your stories, but I was more jealous about you being in Disney and all those. Like, I was like, I don't care about the running. I just want to be in Disney.
It was cool. It's honestly, it was like I said, it's worth listening to the podcast. I break down like how I train for it because again, I'm not a runner, so I was out of my comfort zone. But I talk about the gear, the fueling, the experience, Disneyland, like the whole everything around it was super weird. Like if you ever had that moment in your life and you're like, where in the fuck am I and how did I get here? That was it. Like it was truly like because I'm not a Disney person and it's like 4 a.m. A guy in full Jack Sparrow, like movie theater costumes running by me, like a better runner than I am in full costume. Like everything about it was like what is going on, but it was like a good experience for life in general. So it was cool. I certainly was absolutely not the best runner there, like that was beyond clear, but we showed up and we hung with it and it was an experience for life for sure.
I don't think it's about being the best runner. I think it's about just enjoying the experience and being a part of it and saying, I fucking did that, You should be
Right.
damn proud of yourself. And I'm looking forward to that's why I also didn't wanna like talk about it here because I really wanna take in the episode and really get into the moment because when you experience something and record about it, it's a listening to it, it's a different feel than like it's like you hear somebody's excitement, somebody's joy, like they take you through the process. So that's what I want to get from that. That's what I'm saving it for tomorrow, and I hope you all go listen to it and just take it all in. But let the people know all the fucking amazing things you do because you do a lot. You also have a company that does incredible things for the community and for the branding, so that and where people can reach out to you to connect with you.
Yeah. So KO Alliance is my company. We are a consulting firm. So we help companies primarily activate in health, wellness, and lifestyle. So if you've got like a consumer package good or we do a lot with influencers, aligning key voices, strategic partnership sponsors. We do a lot with getting health, wellness, and lifestyles into niche communities or working to build brands. So, if you fall in any one of those categories, you're looking to build your brand or attract key voices, influencers, or strategic partnership sponsors, that kind of stuff, relationship based, give us a call. Turmeric Tequila is the podcast. It's the official podcast of KO Alliance. We do it a lot to disrupt the smoke and mirrors in marketing and branding. Obviously, we're living it on one side and then we're telling the truth always on all things. We work specifically with mission driven companies, but we're in that space really to disrupt it. And the podcast is the voice of that. And then I try and pretend to be a professional athlete when I can and do CrossFit, do runs, mostly just do hard things to keep the edges sharp and be around, like you were talking about, good people doing good things, people that are certainly better than I am. So that when the water level rises, all boats rise. We try and stay amongst those people with deep waters so we can hang and like Paula herself that are out here doing it, chasing the dream. That's it. We're out here really just trying to have a good time, be useful where I can. I'm good at marketing and branding. I like to think we're good at the podcast. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
you and I both, I think we're both good at like getting good people together. So I don't know where that
Connect. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's what's important in our world. And I really do think that's where we contribute almost probably more than the business and maybe even more than the podcast, but which is a good thing.
Yes. And I definitely need to be like giving you a call not on the friend side, but more on the business side, like like a proper call. Because I say 2024 is the year that I really am putting in the work and getting shit done. And
Let's
now
go.
that I'm finally settling in my new and the highness that I came with from Podfest and being able to be seen and be recognized when here I'm thinking like, who am I? Like nobody knows me. Like nobody's paying attention to me. And you go there and people are just validating you. Like my head went a little bit bigger and I'm like, yo, I'm really sleeping on myself. I need to get shit done because I'm already there. And I think that's what ends up slowing most of us down because we get it into our head that who am I? Who is listening to me? Nobody
Right.
knows me. Nobody's watching, but literally people are watching. People are seeing
And
you.
meanwhile, you're the mayor. Yeah. Like, let's go. Like, let's call it what it is. It is. Well, I'll suggest this to you. My friend and I, she's also an entrepreneur. We just wrote letters to ourselves in 6 months. So we wrote down, I will be making X amount of dollars a month. I will be having these fitness goals. We wrote down like desires and goals and milestones for 6 months from now. So I would suggest that for anyone listening, go write a letter to yourself for 6 months from now, to where you start to manifest what you want and dream big. Like I wanted, 100 grand a month, this and that, like things that are huge, but put it down on paper, see it. And then when in doubt, go read that letter to yourself. We're going to put ours away and then read it in 6 months. But if you need to mark those milestones or whatever somewhere, or just read it, but then in 6 months, check in with that mindset from now for 6 months to now and see what comes true and what happens.
I'm gonna do that because you're my last call for the day, and I'm definitely gonna do that. And I think that would be a nice episode in 6 months. Like I reach you read the letter on my episode and
Let's
share
go.
people what has come from it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, and thank you for being a vessel in the community because you do bring your community. Like when I watch, sometimes I'm like, I hate the call, but maybe I should move to Denver because I need to be
Let's go.
around.
Let's
No, yeah,
go.
it's too much cold for me over there.
It is cold. It
But
is.
if it wasn't for the cold, I would have been like, yeah, I'm going to Denver because there's something Kristen is doing over there, and I want to be a part of it, like literally. But in any way I can be a part of it virtually, I'm all in. Um, I'm officially Turmeric and Tequila brand ambassador
Oh,
mayor.
yeah.
So
You're top of the list. You're one of like 8 people that has that jacket. I have like, I think it's you and one other podcaster, and then like 4 of my best friends, and that's it.
you see, that's why it meant so much to me. And it's from the day I got it, I literally was wearing it every time. But sometimes I get overwhelmed when I have too much content. And as I was going through content, I realized I made a nice video. I just never posted it of me in my full black turmeric tequila. Like they got it at the back before the badge was gone. So maybe now I'll post it since my badge came out. So now I can reminisce about Wow.
We'll hook you up. We'll figure it out. As a top ambassador, we'll get you outfitted. Don't worry. I promise you.
But thank you so much for coming in and thank you for hanging out with us and thank you for sharing all the incredible gems for people who are having a hard time staying consistent. What's the last word you have for them?
Find somebody, get your group around you. Community is everything. So I think community saves lives. So get your good people around you, even if it's one person, one friend, your mom, your brother, whatever, and tell them what your goals are or what you're doing, and then they can help you keep consistent, because none of us can do any of this alone. Like you need your community. So be honest with at least one person and just say, here's what I'm doing, can you check in with me, can you do this? And I've never experienced something when I've done that where someone's like, no. So, and if someone does say
Yeah.
no, I mean, F them, that wasn't your community, just go on. But I've literally never heard a story where someone like you asked to help, keep that accountability alive and to help keep that consistency moving. That's never not wanted to help out a friend.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And that's a true community support system, accountability body. All those are important when you are just living life, whether it's building a brand, whether it's being in a creative side, or just living life. All those are important. So thank you all for tuning in. And if you're watching a replay, thank you for watching. We will be back with Shit Happens tomorrow at 12 p.m. with producer Jamie. So I'm pretty sure that will be a lot more Podfest.
I got it
All
in there.
right. All right.